Hey guys, hey, welcome back to the channel. I've wanted to make this video for a couple weeks, but I am super busy lately. Just lots of craziness going on with summertime. And I was going to have my son wanted to do this, but he is, our schedules just don't match up. He's got a ton going on with sports and stuff. So yeah, he's normally in the channel. But if I wait for him to be in the videos, we'll probably never put any more out. So we're gonna do our best to do more together, but I'm gonna be doing more on my own. So anyways, like I said, I wanted to talk about this. I don't generally have strong opinions on video games. I love watching channels that do, but I just like to play video games. But there are some things like the more I get involved in it, I guess I have an opinion. So I'm gonna talk about that today. What I want to talk about is the Skyward Sword Amiibo specifically, but you know, in a larger capacity, the HD game that's coming out soon too. I know, like on this channel, I probably have most of the subscribers are from the statues that I do for the Persona or Shin Megami Tensei games. That series is one of my favorites. It's become one of my favorites. Absolutely amazing games. Check those out if you haven't. But my favorite series of all time is actually Legend of Zelda. Just going all the way back to when I was a little kid and the first Legend of Zelda came out on Nintendo. Just the fact that you could, you know, save the game and save your progress, save all that work that you put in, just blew me away. Along with, like, to me it was the first cover art with like the shield with the 4 things in it. Like, what are these? It's like the mystery. And obviously the gameplay was amazing. Like, how can you not like Link? I think it's one of the best design protagonists of all time. So I love the series. I have since the beginning. But Skyward Sword is actually one of only three Zelda games I can think of that I've never played. And I've done that for a specific reason. I was not a huge fan of motion controls with the Wii, outside of like the gimmicky stuff, like you know, the Wii bowling, things like that were super fun at like parties. We're hanging out with people. That was great, absolutely perfect for that. But in terms of like gameplay, like, you know, single player experiences, I wasn't a huge fan, so I kind of skipped that game. So I was super excited when they announced the remake coming out, and the HD remake at that. And the reason I'm so excited, I'm sure a lot of you are, or if you're just hearing about this for the first time, you know, they're taking out the necessary mandatory motion controls for the actions in the game, the swinging of the sword and stuff. So you're going to replace that with, I think what they said is like using the right joystick is now going to control which direction you do the sword slashes, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, stuff like that, which is phenomenal. I'm so excited about that. You know, in terms of up-resing graphics, improving frame rate, anything like that, I think that is kind of just generally expected a little bit with any remake or updated game on a new console for like any series, for any game on any console. So that's not as important to me. It's nice, but I still love the way older games look. So even if they skipped all that, it wouldn't make a big deal to me. It just doesn't matter. So that brings us into the Amiibo. I haven't done an Amiibo collection video yet. I've got a decent amount, nowhere near as impressive as some other people. I will show those off soon, but I do love Amiibo. I think they're very cool. In terms of functionality, for me, it's not necessarily a big deal or why I would buy one. I did use them in Breath of the Wild just to see what came out of the boxes. That one light bow that you get is phenomenal. That makes the game a lot easier. But generally, like for most games, like I've got a bunch of the Smash ones. I've never even used them in Smash. Not a big deal to me. We play Smash, you know, like once a week or so, and we've never bothered to tap them on. That doesn't mean I don't want to buy the Amiibo. But now we go into the Skyward Sword Amiibo. So first of all, if you haven't heard, the controversy is that the Amiibo actually provides a quality of life function in the game. So it's basically works as like a fast travel. You can summon it's a big giant bird called a Skyloft, take you back up to the town where you can you know, resupply, get potions or whatnot, and then go back down. And supposedly, from what I've heard, it's even in a dungeon you can do this. So yes, there are some quality of life benefits attached to it. And that's where the controversy is coming in for a lot of people, that they don't like that. They think it should have been built into the game. Here's my take on that. No. I think it's perfectly fine what they're doing, attaching, giving the Amiibo functional value in the game. It's not something that you can't live without. And here's the number one biggest reason why it doesn't bother me in this situation. It's because this is a single player experience completely. There's no benefit to online, to competitive play. So you're not missing out on anything, or like you're not behind anyone else for not paying extra money. In multiplayer online games, that stuff drives me nuts. But this is something that never existed before. They never said it was like a promise or going to exist for this game. It's just something extra they're throwing in now on top of the improved graphics. And to me, the more important thing than fast travel, which is fixing the motion controls. So here's where I have an issue with the Amiibo is, you know, I love Nintendo as a company, even though they're not always consumer friendly, but why such a limited supply on Amiibo? Because once again, this goes back to, you know, what something I've talked about before with Scalpers. I cannot stand Scalpers. Why did they offer this pre-order for all these Amiibo, and now they're just going for insane prices? I'm looking it up right now. The cheapest one I've seen is $36 with almost $9 in shipping, and there's still 8 days left. So is that going to go for $36? No, it's going to go for higher. What I wish they would have done is that they would have either just made a crap ton more of them, because they're obviously selling like hotcakes and people still want them. I know several people that, you know, want the game, want the Amiibo, but you can't get it. Why not be able to pre-order the Amiibo, or set aside a certain number of those for people that are pre-ordering the game? Like, I went to GameStop, I pre-ordered the game, I'm excited for it, I'm excited to get the poster, but why not? They should just have a certain number set aside, like you can only pre-order the Amiibo if you pre-order the game, because otherwise they just go to these scalpers' hands. I would guarantee that of all the ones, like they're sold out everywhere, I'll bet you probably conservatively like 65-70% of those are just people that are turning around just to scalp them for ridiculous prices. And it kind of drives me nuts. I still don't have a PS5. I started saving up for a PS5 like a year before it came out, but I absolutely refuse to pay any scalper any amount of money. Sounds kind of harsh, but go get a job. I can't stand people that say that this is a means of income for them. If you don't want something for yourself to appreciate it, you don't buy it to screw other people over. You know, I buy stuff that I'm going to keep. I went in to pre-order the Amiibo, the Skyward Sword Amiibo. I was going to pre-order one for myself, for my collection. I would not want or think about taking something away from other people that wanted to pay for it. I mean, it's already expensive enough. I know some people have complained about the price of this. The retail is $25. So yeah, it is a more expensive Amiibo. It does look a little bit more elaborate. It has 2 figures on it, the Skyloft and Zelda. I think it looks awesome. I really want it, but at this rate, I probably won't even be able to get it because I'm not going to buy it from a scalper. I did ask at GameStop if they would actually be getting any physical in the store like the day of launch, like when we go to pick up, and they had no idea, which is that I wouldn't expect them to really, but it's just so disappointing. I just don't like when people do that, but this is also partially Nintendo's fault because they just handled it all wrong. They've done this for years with the Amiibo. Why do you make such a small supply when they sell out? Like, you're not losing out money, you're just making more. So I don't know if they're trying to create that artificial demand to keep Amiibo more exciting or relevant in the discussion marketplace arenas, but it just drives me nuts. I really feel like it could have been handled a lot better by Nintendo, by retailers too, maybe if they would have just set some aside. I think the biggest problem is, you know, it's all done online now, so people scoop these things up effortlessly from their computer and then turn around and list it right away on eBay all these are still say pre-orders, like, but spend $70 on a $25 Amiibo, but it hasn't even come out yet and you're gonna wait. I don't know. The whole thing drives me nuts. I am gonna keep hunting for the Amiibo. I am super excited for the game because that's one of the few Zeldas I've never played, but it does kind of put a sour taste in your mouth. So I'm upset about the Amiibo, but not for the same reason I think a lot of people that are complaining about it. on you know, YouTube or the internet are I don't mind the functionality aspect of it at all. I don't think Nintendo needed to included that because the Amiibos are so popular anyways, but it doesn't, that part doesn't bother me. To me it makes sense from their perspective. They want to, you know, Nintendo wants to create a function for the Amiibo, so adding something like this makes sense. But then why make so little of them? And why do scalpers exist? Alright, that's it for me. Thanks, guys.